All right, welcome back into the show, everybody. It is Monday morning, and joining us every Monday this football season at 7:15 is the head coach of Louisiana's Ragin Cajuns, the number 19th ranked Ragin Cajuns in the latest AP poll, head coach Billy Napier. Good morning, Billy. How you feeling on this Monday?
Well, Scott, we certainly enjoyed Saturday night, but we're back to work. I thought good day's work yesterday. Obviously, getting ready for conference play with one of the most improved teams in our league last year, Georgia State, coming up Saturday. So, I think it's important that we got to keep things in perspective and keep pushing forward here, trying to play our best football. But things are good, man. Things are good.
I know you're focusing on moving forward, so I'll go ahead and apologize in advance, but I got to ask you a few things about Saturday. And you said, look, you enjoyed it Saturday night. You were very clear after the game. You said we're going to enjoy this one, and tomorrow we're going to come back down to earth and get back to work. But Saturday night, how was that plane ride back to Lafayette?
It was great, man. I just happy for our staff, happy for our players. I think it's been great to see some of the rewards of the work we've been doing. I think it's been a very unique off season, given some of the adversity that we've been through. Not only our players and staff, but their families, their communities back home, our community right here in Lafayette. Just so many things going on around us. Life's been a little bit different, and I think our young men have done a really good job of doing what we've asked them to do relative to COVID-19 and being able to continue to work. The quality of our work didn't suffer because they were undisciplined or not committed to the team. And you throw in all these other things, and I think the combination of all those, even for an adult like myself, can be difficult. So just commend our young people. I think it was great to reap those rewards. And those are special moments. Those are things that you'll never forget. We talked about making a memory, and certainly that's what we did.
Coach, you're defensively, Patrick Toney's first game as defensive coordinator. He's also a safeties coach, Lamar Morgan with the DBs. And I could go up and down the whole staff defensively, but as a whole, how would you rate the defense's performance in the 2020 debut on Saturday, and what stood out most on a positive note?
Well, first of all, I think they had a really good plan. I thought going in, we picked from the right stuff, whether that was the fronts, the pressures, the coverages. I think their plan worked, and I think they had the players ready to play. I think shut them out in the second half, held them to 99 yards. Got some critical takeaways, 2 turnovers, and then we stopped them on downs twice. So in my mind, we got 4 takeaways. And you pair that with the other phases of our team, the other units on our team, you add all of it up. It could have been a lot worse, truth be known. And that's kind of what we're trying to convince our players to understand, is that although we won the game, we could have played a lot better across the board when you add everything up. So, most teams make the most improvement week 1 to week 2. It's critical that we don't get fat and happy here and think we invented football, and we got to get back to work here, get ready for conference play. But, PT's didn't take me 15 minutes to pick up the phone and call him when Ron left for Bader. And he's one of the young up-and-comers in this profession. And I'm proud of him, and I'm proud of that entire defensive staff.
Ragin Cajun head coach Billy Napier, our guest. From a special teams standpoint, I know a pair of missed field goals, but also I thought Reese had a nice day. And, obviously the kick return and the punt return for a touchdown are game-changing plays. Robbie Disher, now your new special teams coordinator. From a special teams standpoint, was there anything unexpected there? Were there some things that you were surprised on? Overall, the special teams performance in their debut.
Well, I think what I was impressed with is I think that the two returns that we did have were very specific plans. I think we got the checkers where we wanted them. The punt return was well thought out conceptually and even had some in-game adjustments about it. And then certainly the return as well. We started with a boundary return. They chased us down from the backside and then went to the field return, which we felt like had a chance. And the players executed the plan. Fundamentally, we won some one-on-one matchups, and we've got good returners. Chris Smith and Eric Gare are both exceptional with the ball in their hands. So Robbie has been working really, really hard. He's a guy that is relentless, works around the clock, works hard to be organized and make the most of his time. And certainly that paid off Saturday for sure.
Coach Billy Napier, our guest, ESPN 1420. Billy, you've mentioned a few times after the game and so far in this conversation about things to work on. What area did you feel like you guys were maybe most rusty in? That I know maybe it's not particularly one thing, but what's at the top of the list you feel like, okay, going into week 2, this is where I want to see the biggest jump and improvement?
Well, you got to sort through, was it your players or was it the opponent that maybe caused some of those issues? But, offensively, not as clean of a game as we would like. Probably a few too many mental errors and a few too many fundamental issues. But I do think Iowa State had a lot to do with that. I think their front seven, those corners, those safeties, that structure on defense can create some issues for it. We're fortunate that we had a couple, a week and a half, 2 weeks to get ready for it. But, I think in general we'd like to have a little bit better urgency and handle the tempo on the offense a little bit better, their offense. I think we've got to get our place kicker situation squared away. I think we had a lot of young players play. There was a lot of players that played in their first game for the Cajuns, and that's a good sign. Overall, the tackling was solid. I think that, in general, we can play a little bit cleaner on offense. I was proud that we didn't turn the ball over. I felt like we executed the 2 minute before the half. And to take the ball with 7 minutes and 7.5 minutes to go and finish the game was impressive. But lots of things to clean up. Lots of young players that maybe we're going to need to come on going forward, and there's going to continue to be competition for playing time in a lot of spots as well.
You mentioned place kicker Nate Steiner, 1 of 3 on field goals, 1 of 1 on PATs. Kenny Almendarez came in later and kicked the last 2 PATs. What's the game plan this week in terms of sorting it out, moving forward for week 2?
Well, when you go back, I always tell you guys this, but those plays are not just one person. I think the snapper, the holder, all of the players contribute to those PAT field goals, and certainly when going back and watching the tape, I think we can help Nate out a little bit there with the snap and hold. But it's just fundamentals, it's techniques, it's being able to do them when it counts. And but I do think we'll make it competitive. We've been in this situation before, last year and years past. So we'll make it competitive. We'll go back. We'll try to make it very technical in terms of what to fix. But we've got a lot of confidence in both of those young men. And, I think the big thing going forward is that we're going to need them, and we're going to need them to execute when it counts. We know those days are coming. And it's our job to coach them, and we're going to get them fixed.
Is it still just kind of in practice competition heading into week 2?
Yeah, no, I think it will be. Yeah, I think we'll split them up 50-50. We work 2 groups on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Each guy gets a number of kicks, and we'll just split them in half and let them shoot it out.
How are you guys from a health standpoint coming out of week 1? I know that the nicks and bruises don't feel quite as painful on the plane ride back after a win, but overall, coming out of that game, how'd you guys fare?
We did well, and I think that's a tribute to Mark Hockey and his staff to go play a Power 5 opponent and hold together like that, to play fast, to play physical. I think his staff did a terrific job of navigating all the things they had to this summer. But overall, we're healthy. We expect to get a number of players back this week. Played without Zion this past week. Played without Kendall Wilkerson this past week. Played without Dante Fleming. So we've got a number of players that we'll get back. And, I think the big thing here is we get into a groove. We've got to find that delicate balance of going hard to the paint during the week and staying healthy and having them ready for the game. So it's what we do. It's how we do it. And, we're always trying to get better. But I'm excited about getting ready for conference play this week against one of the better teams in our league, in my opinion, Georgia State.
What stands out most on film from the Panthers, Coach?
Well, last year I thought they took a step forward offensively. They had a couple new coaches, new offensive coordinator, play caller, new offensive line coach. I think defensively they've got some height, length, speed, and they've got about all of them back. So in general, I think that they're well coached. If you go back a little bit here, they did beat Tennessee early in the year last year. Their quarterback got injured probably 6 or 7 games in the year, and that's when they fell off. So this is going to be their opener. So there are some unknowns, and certainly things that we'll have to be ready to adjust to if we get some things different. So they'll have a little more time to prepare than we will. But all that being said, it's going to come down to execution of the plan, and that's what we got to get ready to do.
All right, Coach, 2 more minutes with you, and then I'll let you run. Being ranked in the 2 top 25 polls, do you guys talk about it with the team? Because you mentioned a lot kind of guarding up against not getting – you didn't use the phrase you don't want to get a big head or anything, but sort of just focusing on the process of getting better each day and not getting caught up in the moment as a team. How much do you discuss with the team, look, these polls have come out, we're ranked, it's not a big deal, or is that just understood? Do you have to talk about that?
No, we talked to the team about it yesterday. I mean, I think the big thing is it's great to get, recognized when maybe people watch you play and they think you're a good team. But it's more about the body of work. I think it's critical that we keep perspective. We understand what our long-term ambitions are here, and I think the big point with the team was, hey, listen, that didn't happen overnight. It was a process behind that. We got to continue to make really good decisions away from the complex. We've got to do a good job in-house of sticking with our plan. And the quality of the work and the intensity of the work is what matters. That's what leads to improvement. We got to keep our sword sharp and be ready to go each and every week. And that starts 1 week at a time with Georgia State in our league this week.
Final question, Coach. When you got home Saturday evening, I know it wasn't, a late hour when you guys got back. So I imagine your kids were still awake. What's the first thing they told Dad when they saw him?
Well, I had a big sign up when I walked in the house there that said, "Good job, Dad." So that was pretty humbling to see. But they were excited. They watched the game. I just caught them headed out the door this morning, and Charlie had his Ragin Cajun gear on today. He gets to wear what he wants. So good to see. They starting to get to an age where they halfway understand what's going on. But that's one of the good things about them being young. No matter what's going on, good or bad, they don't really care. So I'm going to take advantage of that while I can. There'll be one day where they are fully aware of what's happening. That won't always be the case. So, but those moments are important and valuable, especially during the season, where there are lots of nights where you don't get to catch them.
Coach, all the best, man. We'll talk to you next Monday. Good luck prepping for Georgia State this week. Thanks for the time.
All right, Scott. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
See you soon.